Regardless of whether you've played Five Nights at Freddy's or not, I'm sure we've all had something FNaF related happen in our lives, which shows how huge this franchise really is. I never really played FNaF back then, it was just another popular horror related thing to me. However, after doing my voice review a few weeks ago, I figured I'd finally give the first game a go, and see if it's as good as people say it is. Spoiler alert, it is. But why? Well, I'm going to try explaining as a Newfound FNaF fan what makes the original FNaF game as good as it is. First, let's talk about the gameplay. You're stuck in a single room, unable to move, with 4 animatronics who wander around looking for you. To figure out where they're at, you'll need to use the cameras, which are essential to winning the game later on. If they see you, they'll try entering your room. Luckily, you have 2 doors that can be shut on the animatronics, preventing them from getting in. If you can't find them, use the door lights, as they'll illuminate any animatronic waiting at your door. If an animatronic gets in, you die. You need to do this until 6 AM. Sounds easy, right? Well, there's a thing called power, and if you use too much of it, the doors will slide open, and Freddy will probably kill you. And as the nights progress, the animatronics get faster. Doesn't sound easy, huh? Adding to this, all 4 animatronics are all unique in the way they get to you, so I'll talk about them, starting with Bonnie. Bonnie is pretty terrifying at first. Unlike the other characters, Bonnie just straight up teleports wherever he wants, so he can go from at the stage to outside the left door if you're very unlucky. You will know he's gone when the door lights don't reveal any shadows. Chica is the easiest one to deal with at first. She just walks toward your room, or sometimes she'll just walk away for some reason. Also, if you hear banging, she's in the kitchen, which is thankfully far from your room. Chica always appears at the right door, unlike Bonnie, who goes to the left. Foxy only really becomes a threat on night 2, although if you're paranoid like me when playing, he probably won't be an issue. Basically, looking at the cameras will stall him from leaving his room. If you don't use the cameras enough, he'll run out and kill you if the left door is open. If the left door is closed, he'll take away power. And finally, Freddy. On night 3 and onwards, he'll become active, going towards the right door. If you hear laughing, he's moved. However, looking at him makes him stop temporarily, which is never explained for some reason. Thankfully, I'd seen some videos talking about how the characters worked before then, so that's cool. Unlike Bonnie and Chica, Freddy doesn't wait at your door. If given the chance, he'll just go straight into your room, no warning except another one of his laughs. And if you run out of power, Freddy will wait at your door for a random amount of time, and then jump scare you. Freddy is definitely the hardest part of 420 mode, where he'll sneak in your room the moment you're in a camera he isn't in. There's also a Golden Freddy, but I'll talk about that guy later. So overall, the gameplay of FNaF is really good. The mechanics bounce off each other very well, but since I explained the mechanics of the characters, I think I should dedicate an entire section to those guys. The characters are all awesome. One thing they have in common is how lifeless they are, which makes them terrifying. The eyes that don't quite fit into their sockets, the weird textures of the parts, and lack of expression really helps in creeping me out when I see them. Bonnie is the best example of this. No eyebrows makes him look completely dead, and yet the way he looks at you is super menacing. Plus, he's just awesome, what's not to love? Chica is very underrated. Her design is great. Having a beak means that she can't really form decipherable expressions, and just like Bonnie, she's so lifeless. Some of her renders are really unnerving, especially the one in the dining area where she stares at you with malice. She's not as good as Bonnie, but I still really like her. Foxy is my least favourite of the 4, which is wild considering how I liked him the most before playing FNaF 1. The fact that he's got patches of missing fur and 2 endoskeleton legs that are completely exposed is super cool. He does look pretty goofy sometimes though, and even tired, which kind of fits I guess. I still love Foxy and his mechanic is great. If not obvious already, Freddy is my favourite. He's got much more character than Bonnie and Chica, which could have made him less creepy, but Scott made up for that by having him hide. You can only see his glowing white eyes until he's really close to your room, where he's right at the camera, still cloaked in shadow, and his regular jump scare is probably the scariest one in the game. Plus, he's the main guy, and I can't help but respect that. Golden Freddy is a cool secret, and he looks very dangerous despite lying down, which rules. His jump scare is pretty unnerving too. Endo 1 is the weakest character overall in this game, but his secret where he looks at you is cool I guess. And yeah, Scott did a great job designing all 6 of these characters. They've all got charm and are very creepy when they want to be. Anyways, I think now is a good time to talk about this game's story. This game's story is pretty simple, but very effective. Basically, Mike Schmidt gets hired as a security guard and is assisted by this person named Phone Guy, someone who also had to watch out for the animatronics, who gives out helpful tips to you. Apparently, the animatronics are set to a wander mode at night, and when they see you, they think you're an endoskeleton, so they'll try putting you into a wire-filled suit, which is so uncomfortable it makes your eyes and teeth pop out. As you can tell, going through that would kill you. On night 4, Phone Guy dies to an animatronic, and eventually, Mike tries tampering with the animatronics, which gets him fired. Simple, right? Well, the game is filled with secrets which reveal that 5 children were killed, and their corpses were put into Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, Foxy, and Golden Freddy. I love this story. It's so simple, yet it tells you everything you need to know. The animatronics are scary enough, but knowing that children's corpses have been in those suits, and possibly still are, is horrifying. And that's it. We're told everything worth knowing. No unnecessarily vague mysteries that never get answered. It's great. And what's a good story without a good atmosphere? The atmosphere is pretty good too. Everything looks very realistic and really works as a pizzeria. Because everything is so dark, the animatronics are hard to see, and as they get closer, they look more and more uncanny. Bonnie goes from looking friendly in the dining area to downright menacing when he's barely visible in one of the halls, and the sounds of the fan plus the footsteps, random music, and singing only help with the atmosphere. I feel like an entire section is needed to talk about this game's secrets, as they're great. Having things you're used to suddenly change is really startling. The fact that Bonnie will randomly stare at you with nothing but white pupils in the parts and service room really scared me the first time I saw it. Have a look.
Oh my gosh! What are you doing there?
Then there's the time I saw Freddy looking at me when no one else was around.
I'm too scared. He's looking at me!
And probably the most startling of all is the Golden Freddy secret. This one startled me so bad when I saw it, even though I knew Golden Freddy was a thing. Take a look.
Oh my gosh!
My reaction should show you just how terrifying these secrets are. Using them to reveal bits of the game's story too is genius, and was done very well here. As the game gets harder, these secrets seem to become rarer, as I stopped checking the cameras as much as I did before, but still, they're amazing. I love them. And that's all I have to say about FNaF 1. I played it and fully beat it in 5 days, including 420 mode, which I did 16 attempts. But what would I rate the game out of 10? Is it truly as good as people say it is, or is it nostalgia bias? I am happy to say that, as a Newfound FNaF fan, it is an amazing game. I would give it a 9.8 out of 10, near perfect, even now. And that's the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed watching me gush about a game I really liked. Be sure to like and subscribe if you like content like this, so that I could potentially make a video in its sequel, FNaF 2. So that's it. Goodbye. LOL.